Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we have a Q&A session? I think that this is the 5th one, and if you would like to see the others, which I would of course recommend, but you know, I'm clearly biased, you should check the link in the description. It's a playlist to all of my Q&A videos. Watch it, learn about me, enjoy it, all of that good stuff. But yeah, let's start with this one. So a few things first to cover some of the, well, a lot of the questions that I got, but some of the types. Will you let's play this, or will you let's watch this? So first with the let's play, there's a potential that I could let's play any game, and so if you're to ask, would you or will you let's play this, the answer is maybe. Like, I don't know. I hope I'm gonna be able to do this, you know, let's play on YouTube for a long time, so there should hopefully be a long time for me to play cool games. Will I get to every game? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. And you know, I am gonna pick the games partly based upon what I'm interested in, partly based upon popular vote, and of course there are limitations like what I can record and can't. Like right now I can't record console games. But you know, it's all sorts of possibilities, and so that's my answer to basically every will you let's play or can you let's play this. It's, you know, maybe. Like, maybe I can and maybe I will. You'll just have to wait and see. Now to cover the will you let's watch or react to blank. And guys, I'm a let's player, you know, I'm not a reactor. There are other channels that actually focus on, you know, reacting to videos, and I don't do that. Sure, I do react to Death Battle, I do react to Shippage's Pokemon series, and I might react to a few select, you know, series more in the future, but I just can't really just do all of that stuff. I mean, I'm asked all the time, like, if I would like suggestions or whatnot. And I just, you know, I can't do it. Like, you're free to leave your suggestions, but don't expect me to follow through with them because I can't. I've asked several different creators on YouTube if I could have permission to let's watch, and usually I just get no response. A couple times I've received no's, and you just kind of have to go with that. And so, like, to let's watch a series, first, I have to be interested in it myself. Like, I'm not gonna post a series of me reacting to something if I'm not interested somehow in the material. Second, I have to have permission from the creator, and it can't just be you tell me, oh yeah, they said it's cool. No, I have to actually receive a response from the creator telling me that it's cool, that, you know, I can monetize, that I won't be in trouble for copyright, that kind of thing. So I'm just know to expect that, guys. I'm sorry, I know it's a disappointment to a lot of you, but I'm not a reactor. This is not a reaction channel. I mean, I am a reactor in the loose kind of sense, but yeah, I'm a let's player, so I'm gonna play games. And now, because a lot of questions involve this, I'm going to clarify now. A lot of questions asked what is my favorite or who is my favorite, something about a favorite, and I'll say that favorites are kind of ridiculously hard for me. I think that it's crazy how easily people can pick favorites. For me, they're just, of course it's easier to pick a favorite the smaller, the more condensed. The more specific you're asking. Like, if you say, what's your favorite fire-type Pokemon from the first generation? That could be, oh, Vulpix, you know. But if you're asking, like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Or what's your favorite video game character? It's like, all of these things! There are a billion movies and characters. Maybe not a billion, but, you know. Like, it's just, there are so many, you know, different options and different factors that go into it. Like, for movies, you know, what's my favorite movie is a lot harder than saying, well, what's your favorite, you know, action movie? What's your favorite 3D animated movie? You know, like, if you're more specific, it helps. But favorites for me change all the time, even if I do things specifically. Favorites are just hard to pick. They change a lot. And so with these questions, if they ask what is my favorite blank, it's basically going to be, oh, what's the thing that I like that comes to mind in this instance and may well change tomorrow. So, you know, don't hold everything to super solid stone kind of status. Like, things change, and yeah. Okay, but with that out of the way, I think it's time to start answering questions, and it's good because this is how many questions that I have to answer on index cards, 1 question per card. So it'll take a while. I'm definitely planning on splitting this video into at least 2 parts, but we'll see. But alright, to begin. You are in a zombie apocalypse. What is your weapon of choice and non-weapon item that you would want in your inventory that you believe you could reasonably get? And I have a bit of a cheating answer. For weapon, I picked a crossbow because, you know, as long as, of course, I can't fire a crossbow right now, but I figure with training, I could reasonably well get one and bolts provided for it, you know. And it's a pretty silent killer. For the non-weapon item, I chose a crowbar, but that's kind of where I'm cheating because basically, if that doesn't count, then instead of the crossbow, I would want the crowbar as my weapon, and I'll just take a first aid kit as my item, because, you know, first aid is essential when you're out in a zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And I think that a crowbar is both a good weapon and just a good tool all around. You know, it can help you get through obstacles. It's good for bashing and piercing for like getting to a zombie's brain and whatnot. So I think a crowbar is kind of like a must. You know, it's a really good, it's a versatile item in that it can fend off zombies and that it can help you, you know, like get into a barn for protection or things like that. It can help you get into a chest so you can get supplies, that sort of thing. So definitely a crowbar. And then if that doesn't count as a weapon, then I get a crossbow as my weapon. If it does, then I'd have the crowbar and a first aid kit. There you go. Next, what's a game that you love but wouldn't play on your channel? And I think this is just a little bit weird in the sense that I use love, and maybe I'm putting too strong an attachment, like, with that word. Too strong a meaning, you know? But games that I, you know, enjoy but wouldn't play as a Let's Play series on my channel, that's how I'm specifying it. I'm bringing it down, narrowing it down to like a what I wouldn't do for a Monday through Thursday kind of series. Basically things without objectives, like the sandbox games or, you know, MMO kind of things. So I wouldn't have like RuneScape as a Monday through Thursday or, you know, kind of series. I wouldn't have Team Fortress. I wouldn't want, you know, Animal Crossing, things like that. So there you go. What are your overall thoughts on The Walking Dead Seasons 1 and 2 by Telltale? I'm pretty sure, because I don't know if they mean the movie. Oh no, of course they mean the games, because to continue on. And what do you think of Lee and Clementine? I really liked the games. They really gave me a lot of confidence in Telltale Game Studios. Just their abilities in creating good games, memorable characters, you know, all the feels, that kind of stuff. So I love those two games. I think that I was gonna say I think that I prefer Season 1 over Season 2, but I'm not sure. I know that I had more emotion in Season 1, but that could just be because of my particular triggers. Like, I didn't cry during Season 2 when I played that. I cried during Season 1 at the very end. Oh my gosh, tears. I had to stop talking because I was too choked up and everything. If you watch my last part of The Walking Dead Season 1, you will know what I mean. But, and that, oh, that's perfect though for the rest of this question. What do I think of Lee and Clementine? I thought that they were great together. I loved seeing their relationship. You know, it was great seeing just like this guy has no idea what's going on. He finds this little girl who's alone and scared. And they get together and, you know, they support each other. They strengthen each other. Because I'm pretty sure that, you know, without Clementine, Lee would have just, not that he would have gone crazy, but I do think that Clementine offered a different kind of support than Lee did. Lee was protective, but Clementine was just kind of a reminder of what was, of the innocence of the world and everything like that. That's what I think. And so I really liked those two together. They had good chemistry as like a sort of father-daughter kind of relationship thing. And it made the ending all the more feelful for me, all the more emotional. So it was great, and I love those two games. They're great series. All right, if tomorrow morning you woke up as a Pokemon, which Pokemon would you least want to be and why? And at first I was thinking ghost types, like I wouldn't want to be Spiritomb or things like that, but then it hit me all at once, the Pokemon that I think I would least want to be, and that would be Spoink. Why? Because Spoink, if he stops dying, wait, I totally messed that up. If he stops bouncing, his heart stops and he dies. I wouldn't want to be a Pokemon that has to constantly be moving or you die, because I'm a lazy butt, and how would you sleep, and all sorts of other things. No one could ever hug you! Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I mixed all the questions up, so they're appearing in no particular order. I mean, they might be kind of bunched together, because you can only mix up index cards so well, but there you go. Would you prefer minions or raving rabbits? Neither, they can both die. I mean, honestly, like, they're not bad creations, but I've just seen them so many times that they're just so annoying. I think that I want to go with raving rabbits because they're kind of supposed to be terribly annoying. Aren't they? Weren't they created to be super annoying? Whereas the minions, I don't think they're created to be super annoying. I thought they were meant to be cute, but I've just seen them so many times, like everywhere, that I'm annoyed with them at this point. So, minions or raving rabbits? Neither. They could both go. But also, considering the fact that raving rabbits already kind of have gone, at least from the media that I see, I'm kind of more fine with them. Do you like cake? Of course, I'm not a Nazi. Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy? I have played Kingdom Hearts 1, Rechain of Memories, so you know, the port onto the PlayStation 2, and I played about halfway through Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. I got stuck when I was going back through Aladdin's place, and I just kind of quit. So yeah, I played my fair share of Kingdom Hearts. As for Final Fantasy, I've really only played Crystal Chronicles, and I played some Advanced Tactics, but none of the like numbered games. I started playing like Final Fantasy 1, and then I got stuck, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to this place and beat these guys, but they're all super strong, and so I grinded for the longest time, and then I realized I wasn't even supposed to do that. I checked my brother's save file beneath mine. He was levels beneath me, but he had like all of the crystals, and I had one, and I don't know. So I got lost. So no, haven't really played Final Fantasy games, but I have played, you know, some of the Kingdom Hearts, so yeah. Do you have a Wii U? If so, what games do you plan to get for it? Honestly, I don't really pay much attention to games coming out anymore. Like, it's kind of weird because I'm a Let's Player, but I'm not like this avid gamer kind of thing. I don't pay attention to, you know, E3. I just don't pay attention to stuff. And I'm not a console gamer. Like, I pretty much stick to Steam or, you know, other, you know, PC-based games, so pretty much just Steam is what I do. But I am looking forward to the new Star Fox game. Is this Star Fox Zero? It's something like that. I haven't seen the trailer yet because I'm considering doing a Let's Talk on it, so I want it to be fresh in my mind, but I have all these other Let's Talks in mind that I want to get out of the way first. So I will be getting that Star Fox game, but that's really all that I know is coming out, so I have no other plans aside from that. Who's your favorite anime protagonist? There are a lot of good protagonists, and it's really hard. I want to say Lelouch from Code Geass, because he was really intelligent, but he was a good guy, and we actually got to see his struggles, and he was just a great character. He was brilliant. But I also like Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. I like the development that he had. You know, he was a relatable character, I thought, and they were both really good. And both intelligent. I really like intelligent protagonists. Like there's some anime that I've tried to watch and I just like couldn't because the main characters I thought were stupid as heck. So I really appreciate intelligence. But Lelouch and Kaneki I thought were also relatable to a certain extent. Like, not that I'm trying to, like, my mom's alive, she's fine. And I'm not like bent on getting revenge or anything, but just there were just certain aspects of their characters that I could relate with better. So right now I'm gonna say Kaneki and Lelouch are my two favorite anime protagonists, not antagonists. Next one. Do you watch any members of the Brony analysis community? And the answer to that is no. I actually don't watch really any Brony fan stuff. And part of that, I'll admit, I know, is jealousy. Because, you know, I am a Brony, a fan of the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, for those of you who didn't know. I'm not ashamed of it or anything. And when I see, like, fans of the show get popular because they're fans and because they can create music or because they could draw or write really well or something, you know, I get kind of jealous, or I'm like, you know, I can't be famous for those kinds of reasons. And I say famous, you know, I'm not like bent on being famous or anything, but, you know, just being known and appreciated for that kind of stuff. So no, I don't watch anything. No is the answer to that. And I won't cut here because this question I just saw is related. Lullaby for a Princess or Children of the Night, which, if you guys don't know, they're both fan-made, you know, My Little Pony animations. And the answer to that is Lullaby for a Princess all the freaking way. Even if you're not a Brony, go look up Lullaby for a Princess. It's a really good animation. I thought it was awesome. All right. Have you ever been bullied? If so, in what way, and how did you overcome it? And this, you know, this is a pretty serious question. And I would say no, I've never really been bullied. I've been teased, you know, I've been made fun of, but I would not classify what I've been through as having been bullied. And I think that part of it might be how I reacted to things. Because I never got super defensive about anything. I never fought back in the traditional sense where I threw insults back or I threw a punch or anything like that. I've never been in a fight. Did you guys know that? I've never once been in a fist fight. So there you go. And I don't know, like, again, I've been made fun of for sure, whether for, you know, Pokemon or for My Little Pony or things like that. And I guess how I reacted to them is, I kind of get on their good side. I mean, that might seem bad, and I don't mean in the sense where it's like, oh, I'm gonna manipulate you so that you actually like me. But no, I've turned situations around where someone, for instance, in high school, my senior year, was making fun of the fact that I liked My Little Pony. In fact, I had, you know, like the figures that I collected from McDonald's, and I wore them on my belt, you know, or belt loops. I put them on my desk sometimes just for the fun of it. And he kind of made fun of me for it, which, you know, why not? But you know, I didn't react harshly. You know, I could see where he was coming from because even though, you know, I'm a total fan of My Little Pony and everything, I do see how people think it's strange. And so I could still connect with the guy. I could still relate to him. So I stood my ground. You know, I wasn't going to budge and be like, yeah, I know it's stupid, or yeah, I'm a little girl or whatever. I didn't say anything like that. I stood my ground, but I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't defensive. And in the end, he respected me a little bit more. Like, I know that for a fact. So, I don't know. I got lucky, I guess, growing up. I didn't really get bullied, or I just kind of knew the right things to say. So, sorry if you are being bullied. I wish I could help more. I would just try to say, yeah, like, try not to overreact. Bullies are coming from dark places a lot of the times. You know, like, it's not all their fault. And they shouldn't do what they're doing. That's terrible. But, you know, reacting that negatively and that strongly, it's kind of just what they want. Like trolls on the internet, you know, you can't win if you play into their game. You just can't. So, I don't know. Just know that there are people there who support you and love you, and stay strong, don't give up. Alright, let's move a little bit away from the seriousness. How did you get Screw Attack to let you use Death Battle in your videos? I asked them. You can select one person from history and have them truthfully answer one question. Who would it be, and what would your question be? And with this question, I was trying to figure out a way that I could ask someone, you know, a particular question or phrase in a particular way where I could find the truth about religion. Because I'll get to religion later. But, you know, I'd like to know the truth of things. I would. And so, you know, I was trying to figure out how to do that. But even if I went back and like, oh, I would ask Jesus if God really existed or whatever. I'd ask, you know, Moses, or I'd ask Adam or whatever. The issue with that is that truth varies depending on the people. Truth is a wholly, like, of course there are universal truths, that I think it's fair to say that, but truth depends on who you ask, and you can even convince yourself that a truth is a lie, or you can perceive something in a different manner from someone else, and so you have two separate truths that are contradictory yet still correct. And so I didn't think that there was really an accurate way to get an answer that big from any one person, or even a number of people. I just don't think, you know, because based on their perspectives, how they viewed things, or even if they had some things wrong with them, they could still be truths to them without being accurate. So I decided that I would ask Hitler, Adolf Hitler, why he did the things he did. Because that's not a matter of like, oh, he's right or he's wrong in the answer he gives. If he's answering truthfully, this is from the horse's mouth why someone would do something so horrendous. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, just wait. In school, you'll learn about the Holocaust and various other things. You know, it's a terrible, terrible thing what Hitler did. And I would want to know why. I would want to know why, from him, in all honesty, why he did it. So, yeah. Are you planning to get the DLC for Smash Bros. For the Wii U? And the answer is no. I just don't play it enough to really justify it. Even if I do play it, I'm happy with the characters and maps that we have right now. And I just don't want to have to pay for it. Especially, is it at like $1 a character or something? I don't know. But I don't want to have to pay for it. And now that I think about it, it's probably more than $1. What is your favorite anime? Again, I talked about how favorites, they change. And I'm really just going to pick like what stood out to me right now in this moment that I liked. I'm going to say Tokyo Ghoul Season 1. Did you enjoy playing I Wanna Be the Guy? And the answer to that, quite frankly, is no. I didn't enjoy playing I Wanna Be the Guy. Am I glad that I finished it? Like, yes. Being able to say that I beat I Wanna Be the Guy is so cool to me. Like, I'm very glad that I can say, yeah, I beat I Wanna Be the Guy. It was really hard, but I got through it. But did I enjoy it along the way? Not really. Again, like, throughout the game, you do something, you feel accomplished, it was great. But I don't think that it was, like, during the time as I played it, no, it was not worthwhile. No, it was a chore to, like, sit down and record more I Wanna Be the Guy for me. So, like, I'm so glad that I, you know, can say that I accomplished that. Would I want to do it again? No. What is your favorite Pokemon? Vulpix. Because Vulpix is adorable. I love her. Or him. Vulpix can be either. Anyway. Are there any characters from Death Battle that were previously unknown to you, but after the battle interested you? And that's pretty much every Death Battle character. That's the answer. Pretty much every Death Battle character. Now, I guess to be more specific and answer probably more how you wanted it, whoever asked that question. Were there characters that I didn't know about that I became interested in enough to actually look at their like game or comic or whatever? Kind of. After having seen the Death Battle, Kratos vs. Spawn, I actually found the Spawn movie and I watched that. I wasn't very impressed, but I had a good time because I watched it with my younger brother, and my younger brother is awesome beyond belief. And then there was, Nightmare vs. Guts. And it's not quite answering the question correctly, because when that was announced, I actually watched the anime Berserk before, the Death Battle was released. And so I got to see Guts before actually seeing him in the Death Battle. And to be fair too, it also isn't entirely correct because I only watched the anime, I didn't read the manga, and apparently the anime was like the prequel to the manga, so I really didn't know Guts as well as I thought by the end of the anime. But whatever. I've gradually started hunting down the Terminator movies and the RoboCop movies. I saw the new RoboCop, and I have like Terminator, whatever one is out on Blu-ray. I found it just at the store for $5. I'm like, oh sure. And I got the first two, I think, from a thrift store on VHS, but I haven't been able to watch them yet because again, VHS, right? I just need to get them like in DVD form. Aside from that, nothing really jumps to mind. I actually had Metal Gear Rising, or was it Revengeance? It's one of those I'm pretty sure with Raiden in it. I just haven't played it yet. I have so many games in my Steam library that I haven't played in case I get to Let's Play them in the future. So know that I'm doing it kind of for you guys. But that kind of answers your Death Battle question. Have you ever considered selling merchandise? Why, yes, I have. The issue with that is that I don't feel I have anything that's worth selling. Like, do I have catchphrases? I don't think so. Do I have, like, a little friend that I've made in a game that's been persistent and popular? No, not really. Like, I guess I'm not the kind of YouTuber that sets trends, and I don't try to be, so I'm not disappointed in that. It's just a thing. So I don't think that there's really anything that I have that I can, like, create into merchandise. I don't know. Have you ever played a visual novel? If so, which one/ones? And if not, would you consider playing one? And I remember this person specified not even for your channel, just playing one. The answer, I believe, is no. I don't recall playing visual novels. I mean, it's really just like a story is told to you, right? If there's something where like you get to make choices and those choices matter, that's what I would prefer, but I don't know if that's still a visual novel. So I'm gonna say no, I have not played them, so that gets rid of, the next third of the question. And would I consider playing them? I'm not against playing them so much, but when I could use my time for something else, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use that time for something else that I know that I like, or that I know will be more productive, or whatever. I mean, the concept of visual novels kind of bores me a bit. I mean, I don't want to be rude. It's just kind of like, if I want to read a book, which I never do, I'll read a book. If I want to play a game, then I want to be able to play a game with interactivity and everything. So, visual novels just never struck me as my kind of thing. But who knows? Because I've never really tried it, so I can't say. But there you go. It was like cooler when I started this recording, and so I put on this jacket, but now it's getting all hot, so I'm probably gonna have to change. Ugh. Do you play any Monster Hunter games? Not really. The only game that I have played is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, or one of those, Monster Hunter Ultimate 3, I don't know, but for the 3DS, and it was pretty fun for a little bit, but I wanted more story. I wanted it to feel more mature. I wanted more of an objective than just go out and kill monsters. Like, after a while, I got bored. It just became slay this giant beast. And something you should know about me, I'm not drawn to things by giant weapons or giant monsters or that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't turn me away necessarily. It's just not a particular appeal to me. Like, it depends on how it's used and everything. And so the Monster Hunter games didn't totally strike my fancy. Not that I dislike them. I remember having a good time with them and everything, or the one that I mentioned. But, it's not my favorite game or anything. Would you be interested in the death battle James Bond versus Ethan Hunt? So, for those of you who don't know, James Bond, 007, Ethan Hunt, that's Mission Impossible, right? I've seen them all, I'm just making sure that I'm remembering his name correctly. I'm not particularly interested in that, but I also wouldn't mind seeing it. which I think does mean something. There are some death battles where I'd be like, are you serious, that? But this one, I can see why you, like, how you came to that conclusion, picking those two characters to fight each other. So I wouldn't really mind. To me, it seems awfully close to Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher, even though they're more like video game gadget kind of stuff. And these two are more like real life stretched to the extreme kind of thing, in my opinion. But I'm not particularly interested. I'm just also not uninterested, I guess. I'm indifferent. I'm ambivalent. There you go. What do you think of Gravity Falls? I haven't seen too much of the show, but from what I have seen, it does seem like an enjoyable show. I do like the humor that I saw in the few episodes that I actually did see. But I also just, like, I don't have the channel for it on my TV. And I just haven't taken the time to, like, look it up. Again, it's one of those things where even though I've been interested, I feel like there are kind of better uses for my time. And my monitors just fell asleep, so hopefully it's fine. I just wiggled my mouse, we're back. Hi! But regarding Gravity Falls, if you guys haven't seen it, you gotta look up Mike Inell's What If Gravity Falls Was an Anime, because that video was amazing. That guy is incredible. The way that he animates, oh my gosh. If I had a wish, it would be to be able to animate like that on my own, though preferably faster, because if I have a wish, why not make myself even more efficient? But it's really cool. Again, Mike Inell's What If Gravity Falls Was an Anime. He does other things too, and I know he does other things too. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, what do I think about Gravity Falls? It seems cool. I just haven't taken the time to really, like, get into it. What is your favorite Let's Play you've ever done or look forward to doing? And of course, favorite, what comes to mind right now, probably the Walking Dead series. Those have been a lot of fun. You know, there have been, of course, bad moments with people in the comments frustrating me about, like, oh, you made the wrong choice, why didn't you do this, I'm angry because you didn't agree with me. And I just want to be, shut up, go play it yourself, you know. But those have been really good games. Telltale really knows how to make strong, memorable characters, and deliver it all really well. And I thought the pacing, you know, I don't remember it being bad, so they're good storytellers is what I think it is, and I really appreciate that. So those have been really good games, and I enjoyed Let's Playing them. Now, which would you say is the worst animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's? Okay, I split this one up into two separate sections. So, and I do, on some of these cards, I wrote down like little answers or hints on the back to help myself along. Worst in difficulty, I think, is Foxy. In every game, there's a certain strategy that you could employ, and you would win if not for Foxy being there, you know? Like, Foxy's the thing that kind of balances everything out, because he's so unique that he can just, like, topple every little scheme you have. And he's in every game, you know, because there were other, you could say, like, the puppet does things like that, too, in the second Five Nights at Freddy's, but, you know, he's not in every game. Whereas Foxy is, and so I think the worst in difficulty in making things hard and frustrating, Foxy's the worst. He is, I think I'd say, my favorite animatronic, but he's the worst in difficulty. Now, I think that the worst, just as a character, would be Toy Freddy, because he doesn't do anything new, I don't think. He only appears in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and at first I was debating between Toy Chica and Toy Bonnie as being the worst, because again, I don't like the toys too much. Like, they're not too special. They just appear in the vents. But they do appear in the vents along with the other animatronics, like, you know, with Balloon Boy over here and with Mangle over here, and so they add more challenge there. But Toy Freddy is just down the hallway. You know who else is down the hallway? The 3 original animatronics. And so it's like, why are you even here? Kind of thing, you know? Toy Freddy didn't really bring anything new to me, and neither did Toy Chica or Toy Bonnie especially, but they were at least more effective, I thought, than Toy Freddy was. So he, I think, is the worst animatronic that the game has yet to deliver. Or has delivered so far, there we go. With which fictional character do you feel you most identify? And right now, I'm gonna go with PETA for the Hunger Games, and for that sad, you know, Cry Me a River kind of reason, where he's that kind who he likes a girl and he's liked her for so long and from afar because she just doesn't notice him at all. He's invisible to her. He works hard. He's a genuinely good guy, but she just won't. And it's so sad because that's what I relate to. But yeah, PETA Malark. So, all right, moving on. What will you do when/if you reach 100,000 subs? I will party. I will celebrate. That'll be fantastic. I will gladly welcome the silver YouTube play button into my room, I guess, and I'll put it over there on the wall or something. I don't know. I mean, like, for doing something special like a video, I have no idea. I have no ideas of what to do for special things. That's why I keep having Q&As. This is the most special thing that I can think of. Because what else does a Let's Player really do? I don't know. But, you know, that'll be, if I reach 100,000, it'll be awesome. And I'll definitely make a thank you video, so there you go. Alright, are there any death battles that Dart would like to see? And if you don't know who Dart is, that's my older brother. He appeared in Vader vs. Doom, he's played a few games with me, and he was just barely in, oh my gosh, Wolverine vs. Raiden. For some reason, the name of that slipped me. Or Raiden vs. Wolverine? I don't remember. But he was in that one too. That's Dart, my older brother. So what death battles, if any, would Dart like to see? And I caught him on Google Hangouts because he's actually leaving for the weekend, and I forgot to ask him before this, so I quickly wrote him today just like, oh, is there a death battle? And he said he didn't know which death battles there already were, and so I just said, well, you know, I'll tell you if you pick one. And so he picked Luigi, and so I told him there's Luigi versus Tails, and then he said, alright, Mr. Mime then, from Pokemon. I'm like, okay, Mr. Mime, sure. I didn't actually ask if there was a particular combatant that he would want to see Mr. Mime up against, but he would like to see Mr. Mime in a death battle, so there you go. Who is your most hated video game character? That I've experienced recently, at least, it would have to be, oh my gosh, what is his name? Bill? It was Bill something, right? It was from The Walking Dead Season 2. He was terrible. He was so bad. He was just, you know, this evil sociopathic guy. And I say evil sociopathic because not all sociopaths are evil. Like, don't get psychotic people, not all evil. He was just a bad guy though. He had his reasonings, you know, but it was flawed and he just couldn't see it, and the way that he hurt people and forced them into situations, and bad situations too. He made good people do bad things. It was terrible. He was a bad person. I hated him. I still don't think it was right to, like, you know, I had Clementine walk away for a reason when they were going to beat him down, because it still doesn't mean that you should, you know, indulge in that kind of stuff, even if they are terrible people. But I thought he's a terrible person. I hated him during the game. Thinking back, I still hate him. There you go. How can you stay calm when the combatant you were rooting for loses in death battle? It's so easy for me to stay calm. Like, I can be disappointed because, you know, I was rooting for someone and they lost. But it's death battle. I mean, first off, it's a fictional show about fictional characters. I see no reason really why I should be upset, you know, why I should lose my cool or anything like that. Especially considering the fact that Death Battle, I feel, is really respectful when it comes to every character that's encountered. They aren't like, boom, you died, suck it, you know, it's just like, no, they're really cool about it. They're like, yeah, this guy fought hard, but this guy just he had more that he could do, or he could counter it, or, you know, I feel like they're really mature and responsible about it. And again, just the fact that it's a fake situation holding fake characters against each other, I don't see the need to freak out. Like, it's not that bad. Also, for the record, I'm allowed to say suck it, because I know someone's gonna think about that. What is your opinion of Ace Attorney? And that's with, like, Phoenix Wright, right? I don't know, I don't have an opinion. I've never played the games. Cats or dogs? I think that they can both be good in certain situations, and of course there are terrible cats and there are terrible dogs, but all in all, I'd say cats. I think that they're less maintenance, basically. Like, sometimes I do miss, like, dog cuddles, but you can get cat cuddles too if you have the right cat, so overall I'd say cats, but they can both be good. Are you following any ongoing shows? Not on TV, but as far as anime goes, I'm actually following Gakkou Gurashi and Ansatsu Kyoshitsu. I don't know the first one's English name, but it's really good. Gakkou Gurashi again. I plan on doing the Let's Talk About This at some point, about both of these actually. But if you want to look that up, do not read descriptions, do not read spoilers or in the comments or anything, just watch the first episode on your own, because I think it's a lot better that way. And then Ansatsu Kyoshitsu is Assassination Classroom, which I believe they've had just... Wait, did they have 1 or 2 seasons? I think they only had 1 season, and I'm waiting now for the 2nd season. But that's the thing, I'm just waiting for more episodes right now. So, those are both really good anime. I've enjoyed them both so far. And yes, so those are the 2 shows that I'm following right now. Alright, during your Tomb Raider gameplay, what was your favorite part of the story? Or the storyline as a whole? And honestly, it's been a long time, so I don't remember everything. and I didn't refresh my memory. But I remember later on in the story, there were some iffy parts where, like, things would happen to advance the storyline, but that were just stupid. Like, Laura would, you know, hold on her shot, or she'd suddenly miss a shot, or she'd be easily overwhelmed, but then easily, like, kick butt again later on or something. So there were a lot of inconsistencies, I thought, later on. So I think my favorite part of the story was really early on, when the shipwreck first kind of happened, and when she's first, like, just having to go out and survive on her own, because she was scared. And I think that it had a lot of opportunities for good character development. We got to see Laura instead of just this machine. So I'd say my favorite part of that story was just early on, watching her grow, watching her struggle, having to fight her fear and just keep pushing on. Who is your favorite YouTuber? Which I've broken up into separate categories. Not a ton of categories, but just a few. My favorite for game reviews are Pro Jared. I love his game reviews. That's pretty much all that I watch, but I think he does a really good job of not only being humorous, but actually making really good, valid points. And he seems like a cool guy. For movie reviews, Nostalgia Critic and Jeremy Johns are my two favorites for that. Jeremy Johns, you know, he has a certain charm to him, and his videos are just really fast, so you can really sit and binge. You can watch, you know, like 6 of his videos in a half hour. Like, it's really cool. Whereas Nostalgia Critic, he is funny, like very funny, and I had that little bit of hesitation because more recently he started like acting out a lot more of his scenes. In fact, I watched one review where it showed where pretty much every scene of the movie he was reviewing was acted out by him and his friends instead of like actually showing the movie scenes. And I watched Nostalgia Critic years ago, you know, and so I guess I'm just used to that, more him talking while it shows the movie clips. And he was still very humorous. He still is very humorous. But I think I preferred it back then. But yeah, those two are really good. And then just for theory videos, take a guess, guys, because I couldn't figure out how else to word that category. Game theory. Matt Pat is really cool. Does he get everything absolutely 100% right all the time? No, humans make mistakes before anyone points stuff like that out. But I think that he handles things very maturely as well. He really does his research, that kind of stuff. I think he seems like a nice guy as well. They all seem like cool guys is the thing. Like, I'd like to meet them. As for Let's Players, I have stopped watching Let's Play videos for a long time now. Considering I'm a Let's Player and I'm a blind Let's Player, I mean, I could see, but you know, like I try not to have seen a game or have a game spoiled for me before I play it for you guys. That's what I mean, of course. And so I don't really watch it people anymore. But my favorite Let's Players, I would still say, are PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Tobuscus. I find them humorous. They were fun to watch when I did watch Let's Plays, and they seem like good guys as well. So yeah. Since you've read the Warrior series, what are your thoughts on Ashfur? And it's been years since I've read the Warrior series, so I can only assume that I remember who and what exactly you're talking about. But if I'm correct, I'm going to try to phrase this in a way that's not spoiling anyone or anything for anyone. I think that Ashfur was a good cat that became a little bit obsessed in the wrong areas and made terrible decisions. I don't think that he was a bad person / cat, you know. He did make a terrible decision, and it was really bad. It was so bad. You know, so I'm not gonna defend him really more than I already have, I guess, with what I've said. But I don't hold a grudge against him either. If anything, I'm more frustrated with the 3 kids for how they're so mean to their parents. Stop it, guys. Alright, what is your favorite Nintendo game? Again, this is just so broad. It's like all of the Nintendo games, what is your favorite? There have been really good ones. You know, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, the Star Fox games. But I think right now, what I'd have to say is my favorite is Paper Mario, and possibly Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, you know? They're such fun games. I haven't played the other Paper Mario games, but I've heard and I just feel like they wouldn't be nearly as good. But I love those two. They were so fun. So fun. Okay. Next one. What is your favorite game to play? Yeah, no cut transition this time, huh? Currently, my favorite games to play, well, here's another thing kind of to preface it. Since I am a Let's Player, and since I am a blind Let's Player, I don't play a lot of games on my own in my free time. That's why I have so many games on Steam that I haven't even installed, that I've never touched. All of these games that I've just never played. I've spent hundreds of dollars on games that I've never gotten to enjoy yet because I'm waiting for, like, to share those experiences with you guys, or, you know, potentially so. So there are a few games that I feel I can play on my own. But the two games that I am playing on my own right now are Team Fortress 2 and RuneScape. Recently, I got back into RuneScape, and I'm playing old school. For those of you who know RuneScape, you might know what I mean. It's like the 2007 era. They reopened that for everyone, so I've been really into that lately. And Team Fortress 2, I play that with my roommates. It's a good time. I'm not fantastic at either of those games, RuneScape or TF2, but they're really fun. So those are what I play. What are you studying in college? Currently, I'm undeclared, and actually this semester, I wasn't able to attend college because I couldn't afford it. But I plan to go into film and digital media. I hope that YouTube can be my career. I'm hoping that this will like really be able to support me. And so I figured while I still want a degree, I want something that I feel might be able to contribute to the success of my channel. And so I figured that film and digital media could teach me a lot of skills that I could then incorporate into my YouTube channel. So that's the hope. What is your favorite Pokemon type? That's... Oh, hi, Callie. Callie's outside. Yay! I don't know if she's gonna go away. Anyway, my favorite Pokemon type. This is another hard one because I don't really have a favorite type. I just have favorite Pokemon, I guess, within the types. Like, you know, Vulpix is my favorite Pokemon and she's fire type. But then, sorry about the cat, but then one of my favorites is Manectric and he's electric type. Another favorite is Houndoom. Most of them are dogs. He's a dark fire type. Vaporeon is a water type, Wartortle is a water type, so I don't think that I really have a favorite Pokemon type. So, there's your answer to that. Have you ever been hit in the crotch? Yes, I have. Would you ever like to be a voice actor in a cartoon/anime? And if so, what would you like it to be about? I would love to be a voice actor in a cartoon and/or anime. The issue is that I can't voice act. If I could voice act, I would love to be a voice actor. That would be so much fun. And if I got to choose kind of what it would be about, basically any of my favorite animes, or something like Sword Art Online, at least the first arc, because that's all I've seen. I plan to do a Let's Talk on that later. Don't spoil things for now, or I'll shoot you in the face with my handgun right here. But, you know, just really a good show. I don't have a specific storyline in mind, but if I could voice act for a character in a good show, that'd be awesome. Alright, this question was brought up because they basically said, since you're living in Salt Lake City and you're one of the nicest people I've ever seen, kind of thing, they ask, are you Mormon or did you grow up in a Mormon household? And as a matter of fact, I did grow up in a Mormon household. Mormon, Latter-day Saints, it's the same thing for those of you who didn't know. By the way, Mormons or Latter-day Saints, they are Christians. I'm gonna set that right now. So yeah, I did grow up in a Mormon household. I considered myself Mormon until I was about 19 years old, I believe. So my first semester of college, maybe 18 then. 18 or 19, that's when I decided no. But then I realized that I just didn't believe in everything. I questioned what I had been taught, and I'm like, okay, what have I been taught versus what do I actually believe? What do I have issues with? And I just decided, nah, I'm not Mormon. I'm agnostic. I don't think that we can know. I don't think that we can know whether or not a God exists. And so, yeah, that's what I am. And I don't think that religion, like, has to be what makes a person nice. And so, of course, I do think that a lot of that was instilled upon me through my childhood, you know, through religious upbringing and whatnot. But you can totally be a good person without having to be, you know, any kind of Christian or other religious sort of whatever. So, just thought I'd add that. Would it be weird if I did the rest of this Q&A like this? I can see my webcam, by the way. Well, no, I can't. My webcam is here, but the video is here. Haha. Anyway, sorry. Callie was talking it to me, or at me, you know, through the door, and I was like, hey look, I can see myself. Anyway, how did you come up with the whole cue outro go thing with the awesome music bit? That's how they worded it, with the awesome music bit. For those of you who don't know, or I guess if you look back on older videos of mine that still, you know, have a webcam, I ended my videos using about the same kind of outro, just minus the music, without the go, without the card. But you know, tune in next time for my next video, and until then, take care. But it would just be, and until then, take care. And just fade out into black like that. And once I got music and I wanted to have an outro card, you know, with like other, you can click on annotations and everything, I decided I wanted some sort of smoother transition than just take care, boop ba doop ba doop ba doop boop, you know? So I'm like, oh, well, it's my, you know, this is the very first time I'm using it, so, you know, new outro, go! You know, because it was a new outro, it was new. And then after that, I liked it. And so I'm like, how can I keep new outro go? Because I'm not going to say new outro every time I have my outro because it's only new like the first time. I'm like, new? Q? You know, it's like, yeah, let's do it. So that's kind of how it happened. What are the consoles you played growing up, and what are some of your favorite games on those systems? Okay, and this is where, again, I was writing some hints down for myself on the backs. And at this point, my pen ran out of ink. This one, it just stopped working. No one likes you anymore. Anyway, can't do your job. Sega, Sega was one of the first consoles that I remember. And I would say Sonic the Hedgehog, but I've never really gotten far in that game. I think some of my fondest memories with this, we played some weird Garfield game, and there was a ninja game, which might be Shinobi. But a game that I played with my older brother, and I think it was on the Sega Genesis, I believe, was Streets of Rage, particularly, I think, number 3. I haven't played these games, like, since then, and I was really young then. But I say particularly 3 because I remember there was a kangaroo, where you could be a kangaroo somehow, and Dart, like, always got to be the kangaroo, and it was so cool, because I was young. I would say that. Then we had a PlayStation, and my favorite games were Spyro, you know, all the original 3 Spyro games. Those were so cool. I had them as a collector's set, and they're either broken, and the set's broken now, or the case, but they were really fun. Spyro was my favorite PlayStation game. I think it still is. For the Nintendo 64, I'm going again with Paper Mario. You know, Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64 was really cool too, but I think Paper Mario just has to be like one of my favorite games. For the GameCube, I did select 3. Animal Crossing was a game that I got into, and my mom and dad got into, and my brothers all got into. We were all into Animal Crossing. You know, we had several different towns that we shared, so that was really good. It was a fun game, and it was just family time too. Like, family time with video games, that was kind of rare in my household, so it was awesome. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, because again, another great Paper Mario game that was awesome. And then Star Fox Assault, because it was I enjoyed the story mode overall. Even now, I don't think that the story sucks. And I had such a great time playing it multiplayer with my friends. We would often do sniper mode on Corneria City, and we had this, my friend would play Peppy Hare, and as he's fleeing and I'm trying to shoot him, he just go, hop like a bunny, hop. I'm like, oh no, stop moving, you know, I'm trying to aim. And Dart would always play Wolf, and he cheated. Like, Wolf was a cheat game in the sniper mode. There's sniper rifle only mode, by the way. Because the snipers, it's pretty much a one-hit KO, you know? Except for Wolf, he has enough health that he could survive 1 hit. So it takes 2 hits to shoot him. So if you got lucky enough to find him and shoot him, you still had to do it again. But, oh, so many good memories with that game. For the Wii, I don't really remember Wii games. Like, I remember one Wii game, and so I am going to say that here, and that's Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Good times playing that with Dart after my parents got divorced. That and X-Men Legends, basically, because they're about the same kind of game. But just a really good time, staying up really late in a room downstairs, playing together. Great times, great times. As for other Wii games, we really just played GameCube games on our Wii. I don't remember playing a lot of Wii-specific games, so I can't say much about that. And then for the Wii U, same kind of thing, where it's like, the only game I think I've really played on the Wii U is, you know, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. So, I mean, I guess that, but it's not saying a lot. As for various handheld games, I'm just kind of gonna wrap it all together and say either a Pokemon game, you know, like Red, Yellow, Crystal. Well, I guess I played Gold. You know, Ruby, those kinds of things. And Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem and Sacred Stones were really good games. I loved those. I still love those. Yeah. Oh, did I say PlayStation 2? I didn't. Kingdom Hearts. Story about that. It was my junior year in high school. We moved to California, you know, from Utah. So I had my junior and senior year in California. And while we were there, I went out and I bought a PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts 1, Rechain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 2 all in one trip. Like, I had my mind set, like, yeah, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 2 so that I can get Kingdom Hearts and enjoy it because the girl that I have a crush on likes that game. That's pretty much how it went. I heard good things about it too, but a big driving factor was the girl that I liked at the time really liked Kingdom Hearts. I wanted to be able to relate. But yeah, so that's like the only game I've ever played on the PlayStation 2, basically, like for the PlayStation 2. And it was a really good game, Kingdom Hearts, so I'm going with that. But I think with that, we're ready to move on to the next question, so let's do it. Did you ever think you'd become this big? No, I did not. Like, I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna become, like, 5,000 and then call it good. Like, I don't know. I didn't have a set, like, thought in mind. And so I think it's fair to say I didn't think I'd reach 1,000. I didn't think I'd reach 10,000. Now I'm at 50,000. No, I didn't think I'd reach this. If I do reach 100,000, no, I didn't think I'd reach that. I hope I do. I hope I keep going. But no, I didn't really think I'd reach any of these, so it's awesome. Why do you love video games? What makes you come back to them? There are so many different reasons. Of course, it depends on the video game. It depends on the time, the mood, everything. But video games, you know, they're an escape, they're an emotional journey, they're stories, they're well-developed characters, they're fun, fast-paced action, they're comedic, they're, you know, it depends, but there are just so many reasons to love video games. All of the artistic expression, just all of the release, all of the everything, you know, video games are just amazing. So that's why. Who is your favorite Naruto character? I felt like I had a three-way tie on this actually, but oh, now I remember. I think my favorite Naruto character, I say three-way tie, but it's just I can't decide between them right now. Rock Lee, Neji, and Gaara. Rock Lee was just a great character. I liked his, well, I didn't like his backstory because it was kind of sad, but you know what I mean. He seemed like a good character. He was a good guy. He was just so dedicated, you know, always trying his best. And then Neji, he had a bit of a complicated backstory, so I can't blame him for being kind of bad at the beginning. But his fighting was like the coolest. I love like all the, his poke fighting is what it is, you know, like Facebook, that would win the poke wars, which maybe, do we still poke on Facebook? Maybe I just don't respond, I don't check anymore, but that used to be a huge thing. Neji was just really cool. And then Gaara, because his backstory was so, it was so sad, you know, and he was such a unique character having the Shukaku? Whatever, the demon inside of him. He was a Jinjuriki, is that what they're called? It's been forever since I've seen Naruto as well, like 8th grade. Which, you know, again, I've been a couple years in college now. So Gaara was just really cool, and having his character develop to where he became a good guy, and in fact, I think a Hokage, or are they called different things depending on where they're leading over? Is Hokage only Hidden Leaf? I don't know. It's been too long. And I don't think I even watched it when he was Hokage. And forgive me for however many people I'm spoiling, but the last time I saw him, I think so, yeah. But those three characters I thought were really cool. Did you play video games during the early and mid 2000s? And this person asked because they're like, because in Death Battle you never seem to know any of them. Yeah, I played video games during the early and mid 2000s. Like, I was born 1994, so I was, you know, like a 7 to 12-year-old in the early mid 2000s. So of course I was playing video games. I'm not a Nazi. I use that second time just for the sake of being redundant. But like, yeah, I did, but I played very limited video games. Like, I mainly had Nintendo consoles, and the games that I played were pretty much within the same series. You know, they were Star Fox games, or they were Fire Emblem games, or they were Sonic games, or, you know, just like limited things like that. So I didn't branch out a lot because I had enough games that I was already comfortable with that I could just enjoy myself there. Not to mention that in those times, I was only playing E for Everyone and, you know, T for Teen games. I didn't start, like, my first M game was Halo that I think I played when I was 12 or 13, only because, like, my parents had divorced, and so we were visiting my dad's house, and my brother from his older friends, you know, had played Halo, and he brought that over while we were at my dad's house, who didn't care as much about the rating of video games, and we played there. So, no, I didn't, like, branch out, but I'm fine with that. I don't really care. So yeah, I played video games. I just didn't play all the ones that you did. That's not an issue. Is this question good enough to be in the Q&A video? No. What is the best and worst movie you've seen? See, that's bloody hard. The best movie that I've seen out of all of the movies? I don't know. Like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 1, they were both amazing in my opinion. I love them. Guardians of the Galaxy, I saw 5 times, I think, in the theater. Not to mention, you know, once I got the DVD, I've seen it one more time since. Once I got the DVD, I saw it once, but in theater, 5 times. It was weird. But, you know, that was a really good movie. There are a lot of really good movies. And so it's hard to say. I like movies. I could tell you movies that I liked. I don't want to tell you what I think is my favorite because that's just going to change. As for the worst movie, same kind of thing. But I will say with less hesitation, it was either Legend or Legends with Tom Cruise. Oh my gosh, I hated that movie. I hated it so much. I got it from a thrift store and I watched it and I was so bored. and there were just so many inconsistencies and just stupid things that happened that I could have a let's talk about me ranting about that movie, and people would get mad at me if they liked it or they whatever. But I hated that movie, and I tell myself, oh, watch it again, maybe you'll pick up on more, things will make more sense, and they won't be as stupid, but I haven't yet been able to get myself to watch it a second time. I stopped kind of paying attention during part of it for the first time, and that's part of the reason I told myself, you should watch it again, but I can't yet, I just can't. So there you go. List the main 6 from best to worst. This one, to clarify, I like all of the main 6. I like pretty much every character in My Little Pony to different extents. But I did try to make a list, main 6 from best to worst. These probably will stay within about the same order. I know that the first 2 are not going to change anytime soon from what I've seen, but the others might shift around a little bit. So, best to worst, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Twilight Sparkle. Again, I like all of them, but that's what I think. Rainbow Dash and Applejack are pretty much tied for my favorites. Fluttershy is so sweet. Pinkie Pie, incredibly sweet as well, after I saw, oh my gosh, what was that one called? A Friend Indeed, I believe, with the donkey. I grew so much respect for Pinkie Pie in that episode with the smile, smile, smile song and everything. Oh my gosh. And then, and Rarity's fun, and Twilight's nerdy and fun, but, they're just kind of down there for me. But that's okay. I still love them. I have all the plushes right there. You can't see, but they're right there. Trust me. Anyway, moving on. What's a Q&A? I probably should have included this at the beginning of this video, but by this point you should know what it is. A Q&A is a questions and answers video. It's basically it. You ask your questions and then I provide answers. And if you were asking that question in a joking manner, sarcastically or whatever, I answered it anyway. What's your favorite death battle? Again, favorite death battle, I would have to think long and hard about it, and then it would still continue to change day to day, so I wasn't willing to put forth that kind of effort. So I know that my favorite death battle in terms of analyses, what I thought were the friggin' best analyses, has to be Ragna vs. Soul, because that had the best moment with, what was it, that man or something like that? That joke was the best joke in all of Death Battle. Just that episode too, aside from that joke, it had a lot of good humor just all throughout the analyses there because of the characters they were dealing with. It was really good. I think as far as overall, my favorite might be Snake vs. Fisher, because again, honestly, I don't recall the analyses too well, which means that it probably didn't stand out too much to me. I know that I enjoyed it. I remember that I enjoyed it, but I can't tell you any specific jokes or anything right now. But the battle was really good. It looked awesome, and I loved the fact that it had a story behind it. I think one thing that really helped that battle was the fact that they actually did have Snake's helper and Fisher's helper. I don't remember their names, but it really added to the fact that, oh, it's not just two characters alone in the world. They see each other and they start to fight. No, these are two people. They weren't just sticks walking around. No, they had reasons, and it was really good. So that's probably one of my favorite death battles overall. Who do you like better, Freddy or Bonnie? And this is, of course, referencing Five Nights at Freddy's. And I would say that between these two, I like Freddy better in the character sense, where it seems like he's the leader, he's the mind behind it. And again, I like intelligent characters. And so it seems like he's the intelligent one between the two. So I like Freddy better. Which death battle outcome were you most surprised by, and which was the most obvious? And this is a hard question to answer, because which were you most surprised by, which was most obvious? If Wolverine had won the battle between Wolverine and Raiden, then I could say that it was one of the most obvious. But the fact that it wasn't the way that I expected it makes it one of the more surprising outcomes. And so it's such a simple thing where it's depending on who actually won, people could say, oh, dude, it was obvious. People in the comments are telling me, if you've played the Metal Gear games, you would know that Raiden was going to win. And I'm like, I don't think so, because I've actually talked to a fan of Metal Gear after watching the death battle, and they're like, yeah, I was totally surprised that, Wolverine lost. And so that's not fair to say. The only times where people can say, oh yeah, it was really obvious, it wouldn't have been obvious if your character had lost, if you had indeed been wrong. And so I don't like that kind of phrasing. But if I had to pick, which was most obvious, I would say Goku vs. Superman 2. Alright guys, answered questions, unanswered questions. So we're making progress. So let's keep going.